5 reasons I went all in with Dropbox. So I've been using, in fact, I continue to use Dropbox and OneDrive and Google Drive and probably a couple of other things I can't think of right now. I decided recently that it was Dropbox that actually gave me the most bang for my buck and the most functionality across the way I end up using cloud storage. I wanted to go over that and see if some of the issues, some of the ideas, some of the priorities might resonate with you as well. 5 reasons I went all in with Dropbox. Knowing how you use online storage will help you choose the correct provider with the correct set of features at an appropriate price. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is AskLeo.com. I use Dropbox and OneDrive, Google Drive, and Amazon Web Services Simple Storage Service, S3, for online or cloud storage and backup. Each has their pros and cons, and each has their role in my setup. I was reviewing my costs recently. I noted that I have over 1 terabyte of photographs safely backed up to S3 and concluded that S3 is both inconvenient, it isn't really simple to access, and possibly my most expensive option. Thanks to a recent change, I've settled on Dropbox as my most effective online storage solution. TLDR. A quick summary. Dropbox works on all platforms I use, Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android. 2. Dropbox synchronization is robust and efficient. 3. Dropbox includes file history, allowing me to recover accidentally deleted or corrupted files for up to 120 days, 30 days in standard plans. 4. Dropbox includes selective sync, meaning I don't have to store all my Dropbox content on every one of my machines. 5. Dropbox, while not the cheapest alternative, is the most cost-effective for me. What I started with. Most of my backups, and specifically my terabyte of photographs and videos, were on Amazon's S3 online storage. It's handy in that you only pay for what you use, and it's exceptionally reliable. I continue to store several websites and support files, such as my podcast and self-hosted video files. But S3 isn't really designed for the average computer user to use directly, as I do. As a Microsoft Office 365 user, I have access to at least 1 terabyte of Microsoft's OneDrive storage, 5 if I spread it across multiple accounts. Until now, I've used this extensively, particularly since OneDrive is so tightly embedded into Windows 10. I had been storing all my encrypted records, music, and other files of convenience for online and offsite backup. With the OneDrive app on my phone, I could access any of the files no matter where I was. I recently added Google Drive to my business's online storage. I did this shortly after discovering that the server hosting my websites could back itself up directly to Google Drive, which was significantly less expensive than using the storage provided by my hosting provider. In addition, all my websites that had been backing up to Amazon S3 could back up to Google Drive as well. I also use Google Drive to share certain files, mostly Google Docs, with my staff and others. I've had Dropbox seemingly forever. Until now, it's been a free account starting at 2 gigabytes of storage, augmented by their referral plan up to a capacity of 22 gigabytes. Unfortunately, 22 gigabytes is not 1 terabyte, and that's what I need, if not more. After analyzing the situation and the alternatives, I settled on Dropbox. Today, all my photos, records, music, and everyday files are stored in my Dropbox account, with portions encrypted using Boxcryptor. My server backups remain in my business's Google Drive. Here's why I made that decision. 1. Dropbox is everywhere I want to be. I'm a multi-platform guy. I regularly use Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android, and sometimes all at the same time. Dropbox is the only service supported on all those platforms. It's on iOS as well, but I am not yet. One of my ongoing frustrations with relying heavily on OneDrive is that while there's a reliable client for Windows, Mac, and Android, there's no formal support for Linux. The AskLeo web server runs Linux, and one of my older desktop machines runs Linux Mint and acts as a backup repository. While there are third-party solutions to sync Linux to OneDrive, I was never able to get them to run reliably. Amazon S3 worked just about everywhere except my phone. Even then, it was primarily through command line programs or via integration into third-party file transfer, FTP, utilities. There's no real automatic synchronization of files without those third-party tools, and my experience was that it was frustratingly slow to use them. Dropbox is installed and working on all the platforms I use. 2. Dropbox synchronization works. Synchronization is a feature in Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive. When a file is changed, added, or deleted in one place, that change is automatically made across all installations of the tool for that account. As I copy photos to a synchronized folder on my laptop, those files are automatically replicated to the cloud and to other machines on which I have the same cloud storage tool installed. For me, Dropbox has proven to be the most reliable. If two of my machines running Dropbox are on the same local network, say 2 machines in my home, they transfer directly without the slowdown or data usage of sending the data up and down my internet connection. Internet connections come and go, especially while traveling, and Dropbox appears to be very resilient. It transfers when it can, pauses when it can't, and transparently resumes when the internet connection is available once again. I'm writing this while traveling with a somewhat unstable internet connection. I'm relying on Dropbox to back up the photos I take on my trip, and it's just quietly doing its job in the background without any fuss required. 3. Dropbox includes 120 days of file history. One of the major concerns about synchronized cloud storage is that if you corrupt or delete a file, that change will be automatically replicated across your storage, corrupting or deleting all copies of the file. While that sounds inconvenient, it becomes a much more serious concern if it's ransomware encrypting all the files in your cloud storage folder. Dropbox Professional includes 120 days of file history. Basic, Free, and Plus plans include 30 days. This makes it possible to recover files as they were before the corruption took place. OneDrive also includes file history from 3 to 30 days, depending on whether or not its recycle bin is full. Google Drive, from what I can see, doesn't include file history. Amazon S3 does not. Given the concerns about data loss in light of malware and other threats, file history is a compelling feature. Dropbox Professional includes selective sync. Just because I have over a terabyte in my Dropbox doesn't mean I need a terabyte of space on every machine on which I have it installed. Heck, I don't have a terabyte of space on every machine. Selective sync is a feature that allows you to specify which folders are and are not downloaded to a particular machine. My terabyte of photographs, for example, is present only on my primary desktop machine and a Linux machine in my basement. Certain subfolders of photos, typically those I'm actively adding to as I travel, are present on my laptop as well. Other machines on which I have Dropbox installed see that the folders are available, but they are not automatically downloaded. All files and folders are always present in the cloud. This lets me easily pick and choose which portions of my cloud storage I want replicated on any specific machine. OneDrive includes a similar feature. Google Drive and S3 do not. 5. Dropbox is cost-effective for me. Dropbox's professional plan includes 2 terabytes for around $200 per year. Since I continue to use S3 for other things, it's difficult to put an exact figure on how much I was paying for the storage replaced by Dropbox, but I estimate it as at least $40 a month or close to $500 a year. In addition, since it doesn't include synchronization tool, it all needs to be managed manually, requiring an additional investment of my time. Google Drive, now Google One, is less expensive at $100 per year for 2 terabytes. It doesn't appear to include file history and requires third-party tools for Linux support. If you work primarily in the Google ecosystem, though, and can compensate for the lack of Linux and history, it's a pretty good deal. Microsoft's OneDrive is complex to compare. A terabyte free with Microsoft Office is pretty compelling if you have Microsoft Office. At $100 per year, though, it's almost as cost-effective to get Office just for the online storage, as long as a terabyte is enough. Much like Dropbox, it does include file history, though as I mentioned, Linux isn't supported directly. That the OneDrive client is baked into Windows 10 also makes this a convenient solution if you work primarily in the Microsoft ecosystem. Sidebar: cost per terabyte. There's much more to it all than simply the cost. I went for a slightly costlier option in Dropbox because of its stability and ubiquity. That being said, cost is one of the first things most people look at. Service, free tier, and dollars per terabyte per year. Amazon S3, none, $282. Dropbox, 2 gigabytes up to 22 gigabytes, $100. Google One, Google Drive, 15 gigabytes, $50. OneDrive, 5 gigabytes or 1 terabyte with Microsoft Office, unclear, $100 for 1 terabyte with Office. Approximate, based on annual payments and on my need for at least 2 terabytes of space. Bottom line, it's Dropbox for me. Dropbox fills my needs quite nicely. It's true I could cut costs even more by relying on OneDrive. I'd have to get or somehow manage additional space beyond that first free terabyte. Or Google Drive. In either case, my ability to automatically and easily replicate to my Linux machines would come to an end. In just the few months since I've made the switch, it's already proven itself useful. Particularly when I'm on the road, being able to access my saved reading materials, recent photos, and more via my phone has proven handy. That my photographs, which I copy from my camera to my laptop, are automatically backed up to the cloud and to my machines back home as I travel, also adds a level of safety and security. For me, Dropbox seems the right choice. For links related to this article or to leave a comment, visit askleo.com/64326. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is AskLeo.com. Thanks for watching.